dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky. This is WYNT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The Supreme Court will decide whether to revive a legal fight over a Kentucky abortion law after hearing arguments today. Washington Bureau reporter Kyle Madura has more on what this case could mean for the future of Roe v. Wade.
The case before the court is highly technical and doesn't directly take up the issue of abortion. But experts see this legal fight as a barometer of what the court might do with the critical challenges to come.
Mr. Chief Justice, and may it please the court.
Arguing before the Supreme Court, Kentucky's Deputy Attorney General Matthew Kuhn argued his office should be able to pick up the legal defense of a state abortion law. The Beshear administration dropped the case after a second court struck down HB 454, which added new restrictions on the most common form of second trimester abortion.
And I'm optimistic that we will get a favorable ruling, which will allow us to go back into the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals and defend House Bill 454.
Lawyers for the ACLU say Attorney General Daniel Cameron should be bound by the decision to withdraw from the case made by his predecessor, now Governor Andy Beshear. This fight doesn't directly threaten the rights granted by the court's landmark decision in Roe v. Wade, but Alexa Colby-Molinas argues it cannot be separated from the larger issue.
If the Attorney General is able to achieve his end game, it will be devastating not only to the people in Kentucky, but in the surrounding states, all of whom rely on EMW and its doctors for second trimester abortion care.
Should the justices split neatly along their 6-3 conservative-liberal divide, legal experts say that would be a clear sign that the court's majority will seek out more cases to chip away at the right to abortion.
I think it will be the death of Roe v. Wade by 1,000 cuts.
A 2020 Supreme Court decision in a separate case will potentially offer Cameron one more legal avenue to argue for reinstating HB 454, even if he loses here. The court also has a pair of high-profile abortion cases teed up for the coming months, where the justices will consider whether new restrictions in Texas and Mississippi are constitutional. In Washington, I'm Kyle Madura.
Well, after a cloudy start to our Tuesday, we've actually brought in some sunshine to finish it up. We're starting to see more blue sky on our cameras out there. I-64 at Moorhead, you saw the showers, the couple of them we started with earlier today, but blue sky moving in. Same thing on I-75 at Mount Vernon. Traffic moving smoothly up and down 75 this afternoon in Rockcastle County. Temperatures, they've been on their way up as we've cleared out this afternoon. Jackson and Hazard at 77, as is London. Look at Irvin and Monticello breaking 80 at this hour. Further down to the south, well, we've kept the cloud cover in place a little longer, and that's why Middlesboro's only gotten up to 71 so far, and 70 in Jacksboro. The good news is it's been a clean sweep on pinpoint Doppler for much of the day, and even those clouds are starting to work on out and work on past the border into southwest Virginia. So keep that WYNT weather app handy as we finish up our Tuesday, because we've got some cooler, slightly cooler temperatures on the way for later on tonight. But we've still got some warm weather ahead before fall looks to make a reappearance. And I'll have the details on that coming up in just a bit. Steve?
Evan, thank you. A former Bath County deputy sheriff pleaded guilty to child pornography charges today. 40-year-old Joshua Priest was indicted in April. His plea agreement says he admitted to taking a minor away from her home to a remote location in Bath County. After getting to the location, he admitted to sexually assaulting the victim. Priest is scheduled to be sentenced on February 1st of next year. He's facing a minimum of 15 years, but not more than 30. Police have been investigating a burglary and murder in a central Kentucky home for almost a year, and today an arrest has finally been made. When police arrived early on the morning of October 9th last year, they found 54-year-old Freddie Joe Biggs with a gunshot wound. He died later at a local hospital. 24-year-old Cameron Thomas is charged with murder along with first-degree robbery and burglary. Police are not commenting on a specific motive or the relationship between the two. It's not known if more arrests will be made.
Our investigators are still working on some of those details. It's possible there could be someone else, but we know for sure right now that Mr. Thomas was responsible for the homicide.
Police say Cameron Thomas is a convicted felon and should not have been in possession of a handgun. After needing a new place to live but not having the financial means to move, one young Whitley County family now has a new place they can call home, thanks to one service-based ministry. WYMT's Vivica Grayson has the Hall family story.
Whitley County natives Tyler and Amber Hall and their 3 young children not only love each other, but God.
Just how good that God is, how big He is, and that He does do what He says He's going to do.
But things weren't always easy for the young family, as their previous home was far from perfect.
When you live in someone else's home, you don't have the liberty to change things up the way you'd want to. You can't do things in the yard that you'd normally be able to.
That is why Tyler's mom suggested the couple apply for Mountain Outreach's annual home build.
She just encouraged us to fill out an application. She wanted us to have a home of our own.
A service-based ministry hosted by the University of Cumberland's. Mountain Outreach's director, Rocky Brown, says the Halls were selected.
Through praying about it and going through each application, we just felt like the Halls were the best family for the job.
While construction took almost 12 weeks.
We do a mortgage for the family. It's a 0% interest, zero down payment, and then the mortgage's payments are based off of whatever the amount of the build is divided on a 30-year note.
The home is now complete, a heartwarming moment for a family in need.
It means a lot. You know, I feel like the day that we're in, you don't see that often anymore, and there's not a lot of feelings that it seems like, you know, so it's really good that there is still people out there that are good.
A new place to call home. In Whitley County, Vivica Grayson, WYMT Mountain News.
Brown says that while the Halls are this year's winners, he wants people to know the ministry does not just build the home for free. He says the build is still a mortgage. For more information on the program, you can visit ucumberlands.edu. More than 7 million Americans have already received a Pfizer booster shot, and now an FDA advisory panel is getting ready to consider whether to approve boosters for the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson vaccines as well. The FDA is also considering whether to authorize emergency use for Merck's COVID-19 treatment that comes in a pill. A book shortage has some store owners encouraging people to get a head start on their Christmas shopping if you have a bookworm you're buying for. According to NPD BookScan, print book sales increased by more than 13% from 2020 to 2021, but supply is not matching demand. That's due to supply chain issues, the growing cost of making books, and labor shortages. All this has bookstores stocking up ahead of the holiday rush and shoppers trying to beat the crowds.
I would say the weekends especially, we're seeing people come in and buying stacks of books for the holidays.
Several bookstore owners say they are ordering 2 to 3 times the normal number of books for the holiday season. People are not only buying books, but pre-ordering them before they even get to the store. Living your life to the fullest and like it's your last day. That's a mantra for several cancer patients at the University of Louisville Brown Cancer Center. Staff members helped coordinate photo shoot sessions for 40 cancer patients, helping remind them that capturing a moment with family and friends leave a lifetime of memories. Kathy Kennedy remembers the day she got the news of her cancer diagnosis.
I wasn't expecting to get the diagnosis of stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. So that was very hard. They gave me 2 to 5 years to live.
Around 600,000 people in the U.S. die from cancer each year. Pageantry is a hobby for some girls in rural areas, but one Eastern Kentucky woman finally earned a crown that only a handful of women from this region can get. Haley B. Wheeler was crowned Miss Kentucky 2021 earlier this year, and WYMT's Alyssa Williams sat down with her to discuss her journey to the Miss Kentucky crown and what her win means for children across Eastern Kentucky.
Powell County native Haley B. Wheeler always dreamt of being Miss America. In attempting to make her dream a reality, she started competing within the Miss Kentucky Scholarship Program, a preliminary pageant for the Miss America competition.
I discovered how to apply, how to get involved, and I did my first prelim for Miss Kentucky in 2015, and I never looked back.
But Wheeler wasn't a one-and-done kind of girl. Wheeler competed for the title of Miss Kentucky not once, not twice, but 6 times, winning the Miss Kentucky crown on her 6th try.
So for me to have competed for 6 years to achieve this goal, it just stands as a testament that you can really achieve anything if you're willing to work hard enough for it and not quit on it. Because I can promise you, if I had quit on round 3, 4, or 5, I would have looked back and I would have had so much regret.
Not only is Haley proud of her determination, but she's also proud to be one of the few Miss Kentuckys to hail from the Eastern Kentucky region.
To represent Eastern Kentucky and to be that role model for young girls who maybe feel like, or even young boys who feel like, well, I can't reach that goal because of where I'm from. It doesn't matter how much money you have, where you come from, or who your family is. None of that will matter. What does ultimately matter in the pursuit of your dreams is how hard you're willing to work to achieve them.
Teaching boys and girls everywhere that the sky is always the limit. Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Haley will go on to represent her Eastern Kentucky roots on the Miss America stage this December. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, an update on the resignation of Las Vegas Raider head coach John Gruden and why it happened.
Warm and sunny conditions continue before more changes work into the forecast for later this week. I'll have the latest straight ahead.